we want to think about keeping 2 pressure points through the front of the foot, 1 pressure point through the heel, and maintaining that pressure all the way down. And as soon as we feel that pressure change, that's the end of our position, and we want to go from there. Three of the bigger mistakes that we see with the air squat have a lot to do with positioning. What I'm talking about is the relationship that your ankles, your hips, and your knees, and your spine have with each other when they're stacked in a compound position like the air squat. One of the first ones that we notice in a lot of people is we get to the bottom of our position and then we lose the integrity of the lumbar spine. And what happens here is we run out of room through the hips and the spine rounds in order to maintain and get lower into those positions, because one of the bigger cues we hear in CrossFit is get below parallel. We talked about this a little bit in the last video. There's some prerequisites to being able to get below parallel, and some of those have to do with not letting these positions break from the start. So to keep the spine from breaking, pay attention to holding that neutral pelvis, squatting all the way down, and you may need a super friend to help you out figuring this out. As soon as you notice that loss in the curve, you've lost position, have someone tell you, or watch in a mirror if you can, and then come back up until you regain that lower lumbar posture. That's your new normal until you fix some of the other things that may lead to what's going on there. One of the other deals we see is a loss of foot pressure, okay? Most commonly, that comes from either an issue with not creating enough torque through the system or just having a little bit of an off balance when it comes to where you're putting all of your pressure through the feet. One of the bigger ones is as you come down, you tend to go forward into the toes. This can be from a lack of ankle mobility, or it could just be a balance thing that you have going on. Same deal with coming back onto the toes. We're shifting too much weight into the back. So we want to think about keeping 2 pressure points through the front of the foot, 1 pressure point through the heel, and maintaining that pressure all the way down. And as soon as we feel that pressure change, that's the end of our position, and we want to go from there, okay? One of the other mistakes that we see in the air squat is loss of hip torque. And what I mean by that is, as we squat down, we want to maintain the knees driving out over the toes to keep enough pressure through the system and through the hips so that we can maintain stability everywhere else. When we lose that, we get knees in, and whether that's on the way up or as we come down, we see that the knees in also causes some issues down here at the ankle. And whether the knee came first or the ankle came first is a completely different story, but we have to pay attention to these things and fix them so that we don't continue to drive that broken car for too long. Stay tuned for the next video where we're going to talk about how you can work through the ankle issue, the hip issue, and the spine issue.